Hey everyone, the Wagon Wheel of Wisdom here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell notifications down below if you haven't already. Hey folks, Kevin here, and welcome back to another episode of the Wagon Wheel of Wisdom. I am Kevin, your host. Behind me, as usual, the beautiful wagon wheel, and hopefully some wisdom still up here. It is Friday, September 22nd, 2023, in the year of our Lord. Oh, Jesus. And today, I wanted to talk about, again, another shift or epiphany, or I call it enlightenment, that's coming my direction. And I'm going to push back today against a narrative that I initially interpreted. Now, it could be my interpretation. I have been known to be wrong before, and I will be wrong again many times in the future. But I wanted to talk about the looping aspect and how I interpreted it early on with videos and people that I had watched. When I had initially heard it, it sounded to me like, oh my God. It sounded so daunting that how am I ever going to stop thinking about this person? Because that's what it sounds like. A place I need to get to. It's just all of these thoughts that I'm having need to go away. And when I looked at what a monumental mountain that is to climb because of the duration, the amount of thoughts, the things I was thinking, all of that running through my head, I'm like, how the heck am I ever going to get to this spot? It seemed so overwhelming. Well, last night and again this morning on two different occasions, I listened to Abraham Hicks conference where she had a woman who asked her a question about the way she was thinking about somebody, and that somebody happened to be a business partner of hers. And initially she had said, I'm thinking of him negatively, and Abraham Hicks was immediately responded back, well, then that's how you're going to perceive this person. If you're constantly thinking that they're bad, they're this, they're that, then you are going to see this person in a negative light. And not only that, from an emotional perspective, you're going to well up inside and immediately resist this person. So it clicked with me at that moment in time. I don't think in any way, shape, or form there is any way we're ever going to forget about our ex. I don't see how that is conceivably possible. To not think about somebody that has had this profound impact on your life, that somebody you're longing for in some cases, somebody you completely miss at every level, somebody who touched you in ways that nobody else has. How do you emotionally or mentally erase that from your head? And the reality is, I don't think you do. I think you are going to think about this person. How you think about them, though, is what this video is going to be about. And it's based on that Abraham Hicks segment. And it makes so much more sense. But not only that, it eases the daunting aspect of, I need to get rid of all of these thoughts about him. No. I don't see how that's possible. I really don't. I know I'm only 4.5 months in, and this is a young, immature person saying this in the aspect of where I'm at in this journey, but I have to logically think through these things in order to process them and learn from them. And I just don't see how somebody that has had such a profound impact on my life I'm ever going to forget. It would be like, a mentor of yours, all of a sudden they did something for you, or they taught you something, and you carry that on for the rest of your life, and then all of a sudden one day you're like, screw that person, I'm not going to give them gratitude anymore, or anything like that. It's just like that. It doesn't work like that with the human 3D mind. But what I'm going to talk about is how we're thinking about them. So in that Abraham Hicks episode, she had talked about self-talk and how you perceive this person. And in the case of this business partner, instead of thinking negatively about them out of the gate, which again, if you guys have maybe a family member, a parent, a brother, sister, a friend that all of a sudden when you get around them, you just, you tense up. You know it's coming. And I've had this episode with my mom for a number of years because she talks about people's illnesses like she's a records database for health. And every time I even I know I'm going to see her, I immediately, it's like, God, who is she going to talk about now and what sort of ailments they have? And I've began to make peace with the fact that it's just who she is, and I have to accept that. But in our case, I'm going to read through, and I made some notes, some journaling here. So I want to preface this by saying, and just kind of, it is almost, it's copying a little bit the Abraham Hicks episode, but I just wanted to convey it to people that are on this journey, that are brand new or have been on it for a while. I really believe that if we can switch how we're thinking about this person, that great things can happen because of that. If you're like me, the negative thoughts about them occupy a lot of emotional capital, and in some cases, ruin an entire day just based on the looping. But let's try this on for size and just see where it goes, okay? So bear with me for a second. So, and this is just talking about me. I've subconsciously created an image or belief about my ex that are false. This thought process that I'm talking about will change not just your view of her, him, the past relationships. It's going to change your perspective on how you approach all relationships, including one with my own mom in this case, like I just brought up. The one thing is, my neighbors and their beer bottles. Oh my goodness. Speaking of how I subconsciously have to change my thinking. I, in the past, have chosen being right over joy. Meaning, if I feel that I've been wronged, and I'm going to use the case of my ex, that I've chosen that I've been more right in this conversation, the hypothetical conversation in my head over the breakup and all of this, over joy. So I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to choose joy over being right. And here are some little nuggets or thoughts that you can have about your person. Because she stirs these emotions in me, she must be an important part to my life, an important aspect in it unfolding in a better way. Meaning that if I'm having these emotional thoughts about her, the impact that she has had on my life must be profoundly larger than I had ever thought it to be. I know I'm going to benefit from what's happening to me, and I have to thank her for that, which I do. I wouldn't have gotten to here had she not kicked me out of the nest, so to speak, to become the greatest individual that I am supposed to become. And I'm not saying that in a conceited way. That's inevitably the journey we're embarking on here. To find who we are, to become a better person, to chase after the dreams we've always thought we're going to chase after. And who the hell knew that losing somebody was going to be, but again, we didn't lose them. They're always with us, so I got to be careful with that. But who knew that them separating from us would be the catalyst for that? So even though her leaving me has been challenging, there is a higher purpose for it. She has changed me into being a better person. I would love to have a balanced and loving relationship with her, instead of me thinking always about how it ended. Who cares? Who cares, right? I don't have the ability to time travel and go back in time and fix the wrongs. I don't. I have the ability right now to change thinking up here, to make a future for me that is going to be quite joyous. Okay? I'll read a few more of those. Her touch makes my heart sing. Instead of thinking about something she said to me making my heart sink. A big difference in thinking, right? I admire her ability to persevere during hardships, and I absolutely do. Her and I have been through some incredibly challenging times in our life, and we have both persevered. We have both persevered, and I admire that about her, that she has the strength inside of her to kick it into gear when she needs to and work through things. I look forward to the relief I feel when I release my resistance to her. I'm future speaking here. I look forward to the relief I feel having this conversation and thinking these thoughts in my head versus the old negative ones that have just been holding me down and keeping me in that looping. If it were not for her in my life, I would not have the opportunity to own all of the things preventing me from having a positive change in my life. And what I mean by that is me having the ability to now truly look at all of the old wounding that has been hindering me in all of my relationships my entire life. It's just a great thing. And then the last one is, thank you for challenging me to be better. Now, why is this important? So this part might be a little bit hard to hear, but other videos I've watched, people talk about how, well, if you're doing the work, it's helping them, and they're doing the exact same work at the exact same time, and you're all basically just, even though we parted ways, and energetically we are coming back, but I don't think it implies, again, that it means that they're going at the same speed we are. I don't necessarily think that just because I've had an epiphany on something that she's having an epiphany on that exact same thing. And I really believe, again, that is causing us to put an expectation or a timestamp on it, that just because we're feeling better today, oh, they're going to feel better today and they're going to contact us. Again, I've got to push back on some of these narratives, because it just, from a logic-based perspective, it just doesn't seem feasible. And even from a soul perspective at that. I've sat in meditations and just kind of posed the questions to myself. How is she feeling? If we're one soul being connected, why can't I ask that question, right? And the common answer I'm getting is she is stalled in between her 3D world and accepting the realness of what it is to operate within her soul. And in a way, I am too, in some aspects. There's a lot of things still going on up here. And hopefully what I just read to all of you is something that's going to help change my mindset, especially when the negative thoughts rip in there. That I can go to this list now and I can just start reading. And even when I'm reading it or talking about it, my heart space feels different about it. It's a positive flowing energy. And that is why I'll go back to the beginning here when I talked about I just can't see ever forgetting about this individual or not thinking about this individual, because of the positive impact and the great impact and the things we experience together. I really believe that it's when you're just negatively thinking about it, and the consistency of it. Now, with these thoughts, and this is obviously a litmus test since I'm starting this today, we're going to see in a week or 2 weeks or a month if, how much I'm actually thinking about her. The negative thoughts have occupied a lot of headspace. I think if I can reframe these positively, lovingly, joyously, that the duration, again, the gaps are going to widen, and I'll be able to function again in my own world, in my own existence, in my own life, without her being up here all of the time. If a thought comes in, I could just pop in something super positive and flip that around. It's like, all right, why am I feeling angry about something she said to me? She is having a profound impact on my life and showing me a side of me that needs to be let go. Boom. Now I got something I can work with. So I hope this video honestly helps you guys. I say this a lot. I come to these realizations and epiphanies. It might sound redundant to people who are further along in this, and so be it, but I'm just here to convey my learning experiences as I go through this, and hopefully it resonates with so many of you out there who are experiencing the same things. And I highly suggest, and I'm going to find a link for that Abraham Hicks episode, and just listen to it and give it a shot. Don't take my word for it. She knows a tad bit more about this than I do, and she even talks. She doesn't reference twin flames, twin souls, but she even talks about how our vibration and the things we give off repel or attract people, which, let's be honest, we're talking about magnetism here. It is all encompassing and in the same boat, the same journey. So you guys, I love you. This is exciting. I really am enjoying doing this, and I honestly, again, hope it really reaches you guys and helps you out in every way, shape, or form. I do go back and forth at times, worrying that me being in front of a video camera talking about this is keeping me in a stuck headspace. But as I evolve with this and come with these realizations, I truly feel that the studying and the time I'm putting into this is benefiting me to move forward in a manner that is not only fulfilling to my life, but helping out others, which, damn it, that's what to me this is all about. Helping out myself, helping out others, and bringing the twins back together. because I have a stern belief now that it is for a much higher purpose, bigger than just myself. I initially looked at it as, woe was me. I need her in my life, blah, blah, blah. And it's not the case. There's such a bigger aspect to this that I think twins are going to be the new model for what healthy relationships look like. Because if we're, completely honest, divorce rates right now, mother of God. People getting together for all the wrong reasons, people staying together for all the wrong reasons. The divorces are god awful that I read about, and I really think this is a massive wave in that change, is to us twins getting together and being the voice for these people who are truly struggling in what relationships look like, because let's be honest, we did too. But now we are the wisdom keepers. We are the gatekeepers of this knowledge, and it has to be passed on. So if we're going to raise the consciousness of the planet, I truly feel that relationships is a hell of a place to start. So love you guys. You take care.